Hello everyone, and welcome to your second royal reading of today. 2 little short readings today for you as we approach Halloween, the Day of the Dead. I have a dark tarot on the tarot table for this reading too. This is the Tarot of the Abyss because we are in that kind of energy, and we have a couple who are possibly staring into the abyss right now, Meghan and Harry, and that is because they're beset with bad news at the moment. And the latest unexpected insult, it's not an insult but little dig, came from Lady Glenconnor, who was on a podcast, and she was talking about this and that, and she sat next to John Kerry during the coronation. And she, of course, very famously was married to Colin Tennant, Mr. Mystique, and she was, for a very long time, lady-in-waiting for Princess Margaret. So she knows stuff, Lady Glenconnor. She's written a book and have led a very interesting life. And there she was sitting next to John Kerry. John Kerry also knows stuff. John Kerry, a very senior Democrat, ran for president some time ago, quite a long time ago. He is now quite elderly. He is now special envoy for the climate or something like that. And he seems to be involved at some level with Earthshot, with Prince William. Anyway, 2 of them sitting together during the coronation, and she said to him, she asked him how Americans feel about Harry and Meghan. Possibly at that unhappy moment when Prince Harry mooched down the aisle by himself because Meghan Markle did not want to attend the coronation because it was Archie's birthday. So she stayed home in America and sent Harry off by himself to face the crowd. And perhaps that's what inspired Lady Glenconnor to ask John Kerry about this. And he said, "We all feel very, very sorry for Harry. I think I can just leave it at that." Very interesting. So, Tarot of the Abyss. We're going to do a 5-card reading. We're going to look at this. We're going to ask his feelings about Harry. How does he feel about Harry? His feelings about Meghan. He didn't mention her, so we'd like to know how he feels about Meghan. And we're going to ask how Meghan feels about this coming out now. How does she feel about this? Donald Trump famously had unpleasant things to say. A similar kind of a thing, actually, as far as I can remember, felt sorry for Harry. But that wouldn't really have bothered her because, of course, he's on the wrong side of the political divide. But John Kerry, as I say, is a senior Democrat. And so this might have been quite hurtful for her, or disappointing for her, or even damaging for her. And then the final card that I want to know is whether John Kerry is basically repeating what William says. Is it coming from Prince William? Or is this just his own interpretation? So I want to see any indication that he is influenced in his thoughts by something that Prince William might have said, or just for entertainment. It's tarot for fun and entertainment. Of course, it's all my opinions, all speculation. I'm just reading energy, archetypal energy here, involving the archetypal family, the royal family. And there is a disclaimer in the box below. Please read it. Please form your own opinions about all of these things that I read on. So there's the 5 cards. And we have the Fool. The Fool come out as our underlying energy. And sometimes the Fool can be quite literal in the sense that somebody naive, gullible, has set off on what I like to call Gullible's travels. The Fool. And there, even though it's a female energy, I would say the Fool in this card would be more masculine, would be more Prince Harry. Prince Harry went off naively, enthusiastically to America via Canada. Of course, let's not forget Canada, where he might have been hoping to be Governor General, but then landed up in California. Possibly a bit of a surprise to him, but probably not a surprise to his wife. And the Fool set off optimistically, enthusiastically, innocently on this big adventure. And my goodness, how wrong this adventure has gone. So there's the Fool There is our underlying energy. Let's have a look at the actual situation we are dealing with today. Justice in reverse. That is something that is unfair. A lot of energy packed into this card. It's all hitting me at once. So I'll try and remember it all. Justice in reverse, unfair. An unequal situation. Harry gave up his whole life, his royal life, the luxuries of being a royal, the status of being a royal, the privilege of being a royal, gave it all up for love to follow Meghan to America. She was in between jobs. She had run out of work. She was no longer working on Suits. They were writing her out of the series. She was desperately looking for something new. It's claimed that she had 5 million in the bank. Many people doubt that claim. She seemed to be quite down on her luck, quite desperately seeking a man to attach herself to. She was quite frank about that she was looking for a wealthy Brit. She found what she thought was a very wealthy Brit. Turned out to be not quite as wealthy as she might have hoped. But somebody gave and somebody took. With that Justice card in reverse, this is the situation we are looking at according to the tarot, according to the energy of these cards. A little bit of bad karma in there with the Justice card. There is something else though in the Justice card that you're probably shouting at the screen, which is divorce. It's one of the divorce cards. It's legal proceedings that are possibly going on behind the scenes that are unraveling this marriage. There's a lot of speculation about that. I'm picking up energy about this a lot. Ever since I started doing these readings, I have picked that energy up. It comes and goes, and any relationship that is in the throes of failing does that. You have good days and bad days and good weeks and months and bad weeks and months, and suddenly you wake up and think, I can't do this anymore, and then it's done. That card is telling me all of that. So, how does John Kerry feel about Prince Harry? Prince Harry is very, very sorry for him, he said. Queen of Wands, well, there she is. She's shown up, Meghan Markle, who is the Queen of Wands, the fire sign woman who's very dominant, very powerful, very charismatic, runs the show, has him pretty much under her thumb, in her kind of almost a hypnotic effect on him with that card. She's there in the dark with that fire, and you can almost hear chanting and drumming and stuff like that coming from this card. I'm not accusing anyone of doing spells and magic, just by the way. I'm just saying that that's the energy that's coming off this card. Very charismatic, very attractive, very powerful, very domineering, the Queen of Wands. So he sees Harry as being under the spell of Meghan Markle. And again, I don't mean literal spell. I mean maybe some other kind of spell. It could be sexual spells, emotional kind of connection, those kinds of things. Spell is not meant literally. How does he see Meghan herself? She's showed up in this reading already. What does John Kerry think of Meghan Markle? We got the Knight of Cups, and it's Harry energy that's come back into the situation. And this Knight of Cups is here in stormy seas, wrestling with the sail, trying to save the ship as the ship goes down. There's waves about to come crashing over, and he's in trouble. And it's again somebody who's given up everything for love. A fool for love, you could say, because we have the Fool and then we have the Knight of Cups. So her energy is very powerful in this reading as a very powerful, charismatic woman who has caught this guy and hooked him, and he's very emotionally involved in this relationship, overwhelmed with emotion. That Knight of Cups is overwhelmed with emotion. You can see it quite literally in the card. He's given up. He's been a fool for love. He's given everything up. He's followed her. He's not giving a negative view of Meghan. He was very careful not to say that. He said, they feel we all feel very, very sorry for Harry. I think I can just leave it at that. This reading has literally duplicated that statement. It's not giving a negative opinion of Meghan Markle. It's giving that she's very powerful and that Harry has been a fool for love, given up everything and followed her. That it's all being giving on his side and taking on hers. That's not negative. That's just he is the fool. Let's make that very clear how this energy is reading in this spread. So how does Megan feel when she hears this and everybody is commenting on it, going around? How does she feel? Her reaction. And we got the devil. And the devil has come out in reverse. Very angry. Very, very, very angry. She would like possibly to fix this somehow because the devil is in reverse. So she would like to appear as more temperate, more moderate, more of the temperance card. The devil in reverse is the angel, of course. In reverse, it's a fallen angel. But she would like to come across as angelic and temperate and mild and kind and bringing harmony into situations. All the stuff of the adjacent card to the devil, temperance, that card. That card and the devil sit next to each other in the major arcana. It's been a very long day, and but she is being viewed as devilish and she doesn't like it. She's feeling that. She's very angry, she's very upset. This is very toxic, it's very damaging for her to be viewed like this, and she wants to correct it somehow, turn this around somehow. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of work, a lot of stories being pumped out about how positively she's viewed by senior Democrats and Michelle Obama and somebody or other to detract for them, this Hillary Clinton, somebody. We're going to get a story about to counteract this story, definitely, because it's major, major, major arcana sitting under the Justice card, which is in reverse. So, ooh, not happy. Is John Kerry influenced at all by Prince William? Is any of this representing Prince William's feelings? Don't know how tarot is going to answer that question, but let's see what card comes up here. We got the King of Wands in reverse. The King of Wands is John Kerry. He's Sagittarius, I think, if I vaguely remember. So that would be him. Matching pair here, King of Wands, Queen of Wands, just interestingly, but it's in reverse. So the King of Wands could be, because he's in reverse, not necessarily expressing his own views. It's not an unusual interpretation of a card in reverse, but cards in reverse are open to very wide interpretations. All tarot is. It's a matter of interpretation, and the more you do it, and the more you communicate with universe and try and listen to universe, the more universe communicates with you. That's how it works. So King of Wands in reverse could be expressing someone else's opinion. Repeating something someone else has told to them. Could be, it's possible. I'm not getting an absolutely not kind of a message from this, which is interesting. That this topic might have been raised. I'm speculating wildly, of course, but it's possible in this energy with the King of Wands in reverse that it's not his opinion so much that he's articulating as someone else's, possibly Prince William's. So there you have it. That's the reading, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.